Well, today I've got something a little different to do. I've been asked to repair this Nissan Skyline ECU R33. It says cylinder 1 ignition's failed. I haven't checked it myself yet, but I'm going to find out now. Hopefully I can figure out how to fix it. They have sent with it a spare. It's probably unnecessary. Probably could have made it, found the right parts, but it seems a shame to break a good ECU to fix one, but there are some slight differences between them. This one obviously fits the car, this one was just bought as a spare, so I should have enough to make them work. So let's open them up and have a look. Ah, that's right, yeah. I believe this one has actually been chipped somehow. That may be why that's in a socket and that one isn't. They did point to that, I was told, because it's got a slight deformity on it. So yeah, we suspect it's this capacitor that's at fault here, because it's got a slight deformity on it, and obviously 6 in a row. One of them's probably to do with one of the channels. I need to find the pin out. I don't think I'm going to get a schematic for the board or anything like that, but if I get the pin out and work backwards and see which one, see if any of them are measuring differently, and then work from there, that will be a good place to start. There also does appear to be some kind of dirt or dust. I'm not sure what that is. Don't think it's water damage, but I'm going to have to investigate. So a quick double check of the part number, and it is an RB25 manual transmission R33 ECU. So it's not been mixed up or anything, and I've printed off the pin out for the header. My tablet's at home, so I've gone old school. So now I need to find cylinder 1, he says. Cylinder 1 ignition pin 1. That one there. And compare that to any of the others. So I've got 5 and 3 next to it. Those 3 pins. Set it on a fairly high resistance setting. Is it chassis ground? I think it is. Open circuit. Open circuit. Open circuit. Well, that doesn't bode well. Leads are connected. So where do I go from there? They are the right pins. Certain of that. Much slightly higher. Well, that was inconclusive. I'll go straight to them. I haven't got an LCR meter then. Of course it looks alright. I don't think that was indicative of a failure. It looks more like a moulding error. So I need to look a bit deeper. Of course it may not even be this, but I can only go with what I'm told. I haven't got any means of testing this on a running vehicle. I mean, resistors don't fail, but I'm checking them anyway. So now I'm going to have to, assuming that the diagnosis is correct, I'm going to have to work back from the pin and trace it all out on the board. It could be a bit annoying, but we'll see how it goes. First it goes straight to that resistor there. Let's check for any dodgy connections. Not all good. I don't understand why they'd be tied together. One side goes straight to the ignition coil, and the other side of the resistor is tied in to all the other sides of the resistor, making them all the same circuit, which doesn't add up. I don't think this is a triple layer board. I don't know, it isn't. And shining the light through it, it doesn't look to be triple layer. You can only see traces of the two sides. Yeah, a schematic would be nice, but I'm not going to find one. How does that work then? Have I even got the right diagram? I'm fairly sure I do. Because where are the other 11, 12, 13, the ones below it? Yep, that all corresponds to those 6 resistors. Assuming they are resistors. They look like resistors. 470, yeah. 2 watt resistors. Yeah, if I go between ignition coils, it's just doubling up the resistance of those resistors because they're in series. Yeah, that's the same. Now it could be one of these drivers. I'm not sure which does what though. I might have to check that somehow. See if I can find the numbers off them and find the schematic for the part. So I was clearly looking at the wrong traces. The ones I need are on the back, ignoring the big resistors, which seemed like the obvious choice for something like an ignition coil, but they're just tied together. Must be just some kind of resistance to earth or something, maybe. Or a pull-up. Maybe a pull-up resistor. But these little components are the next things to check. And that corner pin there being pin 1. Start with that. It's definitely working. I don't know if the value is wrong, but it's definitely doing something. It's not burnt out. It looks the same as the rest. Right, where does it go from there? Is that a shared earth again? Yeah. Right, so it's a capacitor to earth. Again, it goes nowhere. Shared on one side and it's shared on the other. Where does it get the control signal from? So yeah, I've got a shared resistor on one side and a shared capacitor on the other side. So far, I can't find anything else that connects up to it. There must be something, because That wouldn't do a whole lot. Is there a trough going off from that? I can't tell. I think there is. Where does that go to? So it's got to be that end one now. It appears to go to that pin on the end of this little unit. Maybe not. Yes, it does, I think. Yes. Right. So this little unit is the next thing. So now I need to figure out which legs on this correspond to which pins. So far I've only got the one. I don't normally like using the beep tester because it can give you false readings if there's resistances or anything. God, some more dirt than that. Right, handling those resistors are all just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in order. So I didn't really get very far checking resistances. I couldn't find any differences going back to this board here, which seems to take care of the ignition somehow. I could have traced it further back, but we're getting into bits that I probably can't change myself anyway then, so I've connected up some wires and I'm going to check it on a live circuit, see if I can see any differences in voltages or anything. See if I can identify a bad component. It's looking like it was probably not even a faulty ECU, it's probably the igniter or something, although I don't think on this shirt it should have an igniter, but we'll see. It still could be faulty, but it could be the MCU or something that I can't really control. So I've connected up some wires. They're just pins from an old loom with a bit of heat shrink around them. It's a dead good way of getting the right connection onto a pin like that, especially when you've got multiple ones. I don't have 4 probes that I could use. I've got plenty of looms kicking about. So power it up. It's not current limited, it's only pulling 120 milliamps. I only set it at 1.5 amps just in case. Found my better leads so I can to avoid shorting anything. Now I have an earth. Yeah, it's getting voltage. No, I don't want to. 145. Aha. That does show a fault. Maybe it is a faulty ECU after all. That one is different to the rest. It shows 145 volts. Where's it getting that from? It's a good question. Could be this board, but I don't know if changing that's going to fix it. I'm guessing it's the same voltage there. Yeah. And the other side just connects to earth. I think I need to start removing components to see which bit. Well, I only need to take the capacitor off the other side, really, the little service mount one. And if it's not that, then I guess it must be this board. Don't really want to do that surface mount capacitor, but it's tiny, but I better do it just for fault finding. Let's see if we can't break it. So we're on the same current and still the same voltage on there, so it wasn't that. So it's looking like possibly that. I could maybe open it up and try and replace the components inside, but I think it would be easy just to swap that and then go from there. So now I've got to refit that capacitor. Easier said than done. Can't even see the thing. So as far as I can tell, this is how the circuit is. We've got 6 pins, not 5, going to the individual coils of the engine, and from those I have a number of connections on the main board. First one I noticed was each one has a 470 ohm resistor, and each one of them is roughly tied together. I don't know where it goes, probably a pull-up resistor for each one. 470 sounds about right. And on the other side we have a capacitor again, all tied together, going to earth. I'm not sure why. I don't design these circuits, but that's as far as I've got. But also coming off on each one, we've got a wire. Well, a trace on the board going to the daughter board, and when powered, this one, the dodgy one, so was 1.45 volts. It's not going to be the resistor. The resistor's fine. The capacitor, I don't have an LCR meter, but I removed the capacitor, and that didn't change the voltage there. So the next thing in the circuit is the daughter board. And if I change that and the voltage goes back to the same as the rest of them, 0, it's probably fixed. Unless there's something else down the line that's broken, but it's highly unlikely. It's most likely that, and if that doesn't fix it, then I don't think I can fix it unless it turns out to be something else entirely. Now it's time for some desoldering. Mark the direction arrow on it, just so I don't get mixed up. Need to clean these holes up a bit. Earth wire, earth under there, power's connected, probe, power on there, same current drain, same voltage setting, and we have 0 volts. That may be fixed. This is working, isn't it? Yeah, that's working. That's a double check. Yeah, I'm going to call that fixed. Send it off. See if it works in the car, and hopefully we're all good. But test's okay. Number 1 was reported as being faulty. I didn't get anything. I didn't find anything while using resistance. I bench powered the ECU with an adjustable bench power supply. I can show you. There's my setup, and yeah, I'll turn it off before I short something out. There we go. These resistors are all connected to coils 1 to 6 in order. Can't see what I'm doing here. That one there connected straight to the output pin for the coil. With the old board, it was reading 1.45 volts, as if something had failed, diode or a transistor or something. The rest read 0. Now, after I've changed this board, they all read 0. So, provided I haven't messed anything up on the board, and I'm going to double check all the little connections now, I think we can call that fixed. One fixed Skyline ECU, another one back on the road. Last one. Yep, all good. I think we've got that fixed. Right, that's it back together. And the question remains, did I do it the right way? Does it matter if it works? I mean, I maybe could have changed the main chip that's been retuned and put that onto the new board, because apart from it being a year younger, this one, I don't think there's any other differences. It's for the same car, same transmission, everything. It's just a different year. But there could be other slight little subtle differences, and even 2 identical ECUs can perform slightly differently if you just swap the chip over. It depends how well it's been tuned and how close to the edge it is, rather. But it's better to repair if you can. It should be rechecked, really, even after just changing that little daughter board, because it shouldn't change the timing, but if it was fueling related, maybe I'd be concerned. And yeah, I mean, I could have cut the old board off. That might have made it a little bit easier. But I've checked all the traces, everything's all connected up fine. And as far as I can tell, it's fixed. It just needs sending back to the owner now and trying on his car. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you later on.